You want to save some gil? Well, good news. This guide is for you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Eri, you haven't gotten your crafters to 90 yet, so why should I listen to you? And my response to that is... And now, as someone who considers themselves a sprout that can stand the test of time, even though I'm not, I would like to add that after starting off confused with no knowledge or idea of how crafting functioned, to finally understanding why and how to do things, I think these tips could help you as a beginner. So, without further ado, let's do this. Look up items before you buy them. Oftentimes, items listed on the market board can be bought cheaper elsewhere, or you could easily go out and gather them yourself. A quick Google search will save you the time and effort of going through your gathering log, alongside generally saving you a purchase of 10 times the original price. Those greedy upsellers. How dare they try to make gil to improve their gamer experience? We're cool upsellers. I also appreciate it in times when I'm lazy as shit and I can't be bothered porting. For real though, there is a time and need for relisting items, and that's usually for beast tribes or fate-gated items, which can be very expensive, but there is a reason for it. Ugh. Sorry, I'm getting flashbacks of milk purchases. Even better, if you're crafting a set of items, why not use Final Fantasy XIV teamcraft.com, which will help make the entire crafting process 100 times easier. I should have probably mentioned that earlier, but it ties in well here. Final Fantasy XIV teamcraft.com. Teamcraft allows you to search the items you wish to craft and allows you to save them into a list. When you've got a range of items, example a whole crafting set, Teamcraft calculates all the items needed for you, alongside the crystal expenditure required. What's also pretty neat is it has the timers for time nodes and their location as well, so that's also convenient. Once you've collected the items, you can mark it as complete. And same goes with the craft as well. Easy peas, my friend. Check other servers. Sometimes you'll find cheaper items or a better stack size if you search on other servers. It's worth a try, and you can find bargains that way. And we love those. Level your crafters all at once, at least until level 50 to 60-ish, which is recommended by me. Okay, I'm not an idiot. Not everyone wants to dedicate their life to crafting. I get it. I was like that too. So I decided to level my weaver first, which wasn't completely terrible, but there are so many reasons leveling them all together benefits you more. When I leveled my weaver and culinarian, I had to buy the items I didn't have access to making or gathering, so that cost me in the long run. Now, if you have the gil and you don't have a scarcity mindset like me, then by all means, it saves you time and that's also valuable. I had no problems doing this, other than spending gil. In the end, if you can then sell items using those crafters and make a profit, it's worth the initial upfront cost, right? I never got it back. But wait, there's more. What if you leveled everything together? How would that benefit you? Here's a few reasons. 1, your crafters can make the items you need for all your crafts, meaning you don't need to buy items from the market board or mooch off your friends. It's such a nice feeling when you can just do everything yourself and not ask for help from outside sources, in my opinion. The downside is, yes, it will take longer and you might hate your life and crafting and unsub and then come back later, which I totally didn't do. 2, they all share the same gear, so when you've reached the next set for your level and all your crafters equip it, and please make sure they do, you can get rid of the previous one, which saves inventory space in the long run. It also saves you rebuying gear for everyone, or collecting a whole 1 to 90 set of gear in your Chocobo saddle, which I definitely didn't do. But who am I to tell you what to do? Do what you want. When I began, there was no way I'd level my crafters, because that is a time commitment. It's a personal choice and there is no wrong way. Speaking of gear... Oh no. You did it, didn't you? You bought your gear off the market board. How could you? It's okay. I did it the first time too, and luckily I saved it for my other crafters, so it's not completely a waste. But there are better options, and I'd like to introduce them to you here. Why do I feel like nobody talks about this? How come when I was researching for the answer, I couldn't find this anywhere? I felt so alone. I'm pretty sure I actually found it on Reddit. Well, here's hoping it helps someone else. If you need crafting gear, you've got a few options to look at, and I will tell you what I recommend personally. When you're a baby crafter, these NPCs are your best friend. At low level, they offer cheaper items, and depending on the route you take to level, you may not even use them that much. Now, the key here is do not buy these several times. But I won't stop you. Your crafters use the same gear, so if you can manage it, please just store them somewhere safe. Better yet, you can level all your crafters all at once, which we've already discussed. Once you reach around level 50, these guys are useless, and we have to move on to better things. Sorry, we shared some good times, but people level up, and we become warriors of light and darkness. And we use you for fashion report. It's just the way of the world. You may be thinking, surely I can go to the market board. It's convenient and I have the gil. No. Don't do it. It's a lie. It's all a lie. Okay, you can do it. The gear is kind of good actually, especially if it's high quality. But why would you do that? It's super expensive over time. Trust me. You may think you'll use this rarely, but you start to realize it's more frequent than you initially thought. As a guilt-conscious person, I'm here to help you into no debt territory, where you budget your income and expenses. Your Final Fantasy XIV financial planner. I've had less than 100 hours of experience, so you know it's legit. Job quests. Yes, do your job quests and get rewarded with some neat gear. If you level all your crafters, you may even get a full set just from this method alone. Not that I would know, but who cares? Free gear. This is where I'll briefly mention the trade mooch method. If you have a friend who plays the game and is willing to help you out, consider asking them for a trade. If you gather the materials, they can make you the gear. It comes out cheaper and you get high quality items instead of failed crafts trying to do it yourself. It's a win-win. You win and then they get to watch you win. I have to mention Beast Tribe gear. Certain beast tribes, such as the Muggles, have the option to buy crafters gear when you reach a certain reputation and purchase with currency collected through dailies. Now, I've never personally bought any of this gear, but some of it looks nice for glam. The only issue here is that you may have to farm for this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you do, you also get access to a bunch of other rewards like minions or a Mog sofa. Who would say no to that? Still, you get some extra experience and a nice dancing emote sometimes. Moving on to script gear. Simple, effective, and just a beautiful gift to the world. If you can, this is in my opinion the best option. You do need to farm for the scripts, but in doing so, you get access to free gear essentially. Some of it looks pretty neat too. You'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't buy it just for the glam. I wish I knew about this sooner and where to buy them, but I'm an idiot. But script vendors are found everywhere. Limsa, Gridania, Foundation, Crystarium, Radzathan, Ulmor. Yeah. All you need to do is turn in collectibles. Crafting high quality items for turn-ins. Return of the trade mooch method. When you need a high quality item and you have a friend who is a master crafter, ask them if it's okay for you to gather the items and have them easily craft it for you. Now, if you're like me and you want to do everything yourself, that's okay too. It's a choice, but from what I've seen, people are happy to help you out. Gather your own materials. Yeah, I know gathering materials is time consuming and it's a chore, but it also saves you gil. If you have the funds, go purchase it instead. But if you're okay to gather, the good news is you can get more than necessary and sell the remainder on the market board. This isn't worth it to everyone, and it's more of a personal decision on what you would rather do. For me, it just depends on how I feel. One reason to gather your own items is you find treasure maps randomly without expecting it. A reason not to is eventually your inventory will become overloaded, and so will your market board items. So you'll have to discard items. And I can't help but shed a tear every time that happens. How to level up your crafting. The Firmament. The Firmament offers a bunch of repetitive crafting tasks, using either gathered items from Diadem or buying from the market board. This can be gil heavy if you're not gathering items yourself. Leaves, or levies. I like to say levies. These offer crafting quests you can do in the open world. Experience from these has since decreased, so they aren't as effective anymore, but still, it's a decent method. Job quests. Do these to level, but also gain access to additional passive, active skills that will be fruitful in your crafting ventures. Plus, you can get free gear. Vanilla crafting. I'd only recommend this for your initial intro to crafting, level 1 to 20 maybe, before you explore other methods. Then the only other time is when you're close to leveling and you don't have enough resources for anything else, so you just do it to unlock the next set of crafting tasks. Turn-ins, such as collectibles or custom deliveries. These involve crafting items for NPC turn-ins. Good decent method for leveling. This is probably my preferred method after 50. It's very good. Beast Tribes. Beast Tribes have daily quests to craft items that give you experience. Good for a low level, but not as effective later on. Or you can prove me wrong because I don't have that much experience with it. The FC Company Delivery. A good daily progression with a nice experience reward. More so if it's high quality. You can do these once a day. Gil intensive sometimes, harder crafts as you go on, but it helps you maintain progress. It isn't too demanding unless you're a lunatic like me and you do every class at the same time. I chose this method primarily when I was leveling all my crafters together the second time. If you want me to go into depth about these, I can make a video regarding what you need to do and how to go about it. Last but not least, relax. A lot of people hate crafting, but from my experience, I went from not understanding it and finding it boring and frustrating to actually enjoying it and chilling. So try to just enjoy the experience. If you don't like crafting, then why do it? Just get your friends to craft it for you, unless you're a completionist or you really want to craft on your own, in which case, I get it. I wanted to make my own stuff too, and I'm stubborn that way. I hope you can convert to a craft enthusiast for your own sanity. Or insanity, some may say. If I missed anything, please leave it in the comments below. I know it was a long video, apologies. I maybe should have broken it up into sections. But yeah, thanks for watching, y'all.